power rankings, obviously, this is something that we just kind of come up with our own. There's something that we look at these teams, we look at records, and we put our take on them. They're probably aligned, but I got to be honest, I don't look at anybody else's power rankings because early in the year I didn't love them, and maybe you don't love ours, but we'd love to hear if you think we mess up or if you think we're on point. So Logan, lead us off. You're gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it.
I'm ready.
Number one,
Houston.
Really. Here's why.
Do tell.
Houston is at the time of that we're talking right now. They just went 9-1 their last 10. Running off 7 W's in a row. Okay. 52-27.
Yep.
The Yankees are 58-22. On May 2nd, going into the May 2nd game, Houston was 11-11. The Yankees were 16-6. Everyone was like, oh my God, the Yankees are great. And people were writing Houston off already.
It's true.
Since then, Houston is 41-16. The Yankees are 42-16.
Ooh.
They are basically the same team. However, Houston just no hit the Yankees.
True.
The Yankees needed a walk-off from Judge to win. Right now, the way Houston's playing, and if you look at their staff versus the Yankee staff, I think in a series right now, Houston beats the Yankees. Pitching. And the Yankees, not to take anything away from New York, but right now, Houston is playing better baseball.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard to argue with. And let's be honest, I know you're a Jays fan, so you're gonna always lean for the other guy, but it's a good argument. I mean, yeah, it's solid. Houston has done a great job, obviously. Like you said at the time of the recording, 7-game win streak. They've already gone what they have before, 13, 14-game win streak, something crazy like that.
Yeah, they've had a couple different long win streaks. They have only had one since May 2nd. 1 2-game losing streak and 1 3-game losing streak.
Yeah.
And I believe it's Yankees have had, I think, if I remember, 2 2-game losing streaks, 1 3-game losing streak. So those teams are, they are even as it gets, and way ahead of anybody else in the American League East.
Yeah.
Or in the American League.
It's
Yankees and Houston, and then everybody else can fight for third and beyond right now. But I think if you match them up in a 7-game series, Houston wins it.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go with the Yankees number one, and here's why. Because I think that if they go into a series and they play at home, because the Yankees have the better record, Yankees are going to win that series because the Yankees are 34-9 at home. They are 26-13 against teams over 500, which is phenomenal. Where the Astros are 15-9, still pretty good, but they haven't played nearly as many. And I don't know. The Yankees, they got Chapman back. He didn't have a great start, but they have one of the best bullpens in baseball, and adding him is. It's not going to be any worse. So now they went from, potentially having their starters have to go 5 or 6 innings. Now their starters can really only go 4 or 5 innings, which is wild. All right. But Houston, again, I think they have a slight advantage in the pitching category. I think the Yankees are the better overall hitting team when healthy. Historically, Yankees will get beat up. They'll get a little bit hurt or whatever, but I'm going to go with the Yankees number one. And like you said, the Yankees are 13 games above Boston, who have been playing fairly well. And Houston is 13.5 games up over Seattle, who the second best team in the AL West is under 500.
Yeah.
It's wild.
But Seattle has been playing well.
Yeah. Seattle 7-3, 3-game win streak. Yep. So, yeah. And so that's my one. And obviously I have a feeling that we swapped. Yep.
Number 2, Yankees. Number 2, Houston for you.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's hard to argue that they're, in our opinion, the best 2 teams in all of baseball, and it would be a fun series to watch.
Last one was.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, there's our 1, there's our 2, and whether it's in my order or Logan's order, I have a feeling that you'd agree with us as well. And let's go 3, 4, 5. And it's funny because we said usually it's about the same 5 teams it's been the last couple of weeks, almost the same order, but we're already seeing a little bit, and it's the first time in many weeks that we haven't had the Yankees as number 1, with unanimously. So who do you have at 3? I think I know.
Got the Mets.
Oh, see,
I'm going with the Mets, and here's why.
Okay.
There are some other teams that are real close. Basically, my 3 through 6 could all kind of be intertwined, given a 3 or 4 game win streak. But as we speak, Scherzer is coming back.
Big news for the Mets fans.
Enough said.
Yep.
I think Scherzer will stabilize the rotation, get them back to where they've been playing around 500 ball recently.
Yep.
Scherzer puts them over the top, and being able to kind of beat up on a few teams in their division. I'm going with the Mets 3 because of Scherzer.
Yeah. All right. And I'm going to go with the team that I thought, a team that you have kind of always spoken highly of, and that's the Dodgers. All right. Yeah, obviously they have that crazy run differential of 140, which is the second best in baseball. And they got Kershaw back, who looked good in his return from the IL. 50-29. They are 6-4 in their last 10, where the Mets are 5-5. Mets on a 2-game streak at 5-5 in their last 10. So if you're a Mets fan, hopefully they turn it around. And Mets are a little bit better against teams over 500, 25-19, where the Dodgers are 19-15. And Dodgers are, the travel hasn't been great for them, 26-16, where the Mets away are 24-17. And the Mets have a series coming up against the Reds, which that's pretty good if you are a Mets fan. And the Dodgers are going against the Rockies, which is a pretty favorable matchup for them as well, being the last place team in their division. So I got the Dodgers at 3. Thought you would too. I was a little surprised, but I can't argue. I think you could put either of them because I have the Mets at 4. So again, we just kind of swapped the order. I mean, they're in our opinion, I think that was easy. I mean, my number 5 took me a little bit longer, but the top 4 I think is a no-brainer for really any baseball fan or any, I guess, expert that does power rankings.
Yep. But, okay, number 5, you ready?
I've never been more ready.
I'm going with Milwaukee.
Okay.
Milwaukee, 47-35, 7-3 their last 10, win streak of 2. But they have Brandon Woodruff back.
Yeah, it's big.
That's big. That's real big. Their pitching should start coming back to where they expected it to.
Yep.
St. Louis has cooled down just a little bit, enough that the week and a half ago, St. Louis was, I believe, up 2 on Milwaukee, and now Milwaukee's got a 3-game lead on them. Doesn't mean that they won't swap back and forth, but Milwaukee's been playing pretty good lately.
Yeah, St. Louis, and maybe it's the veteran club just getting a little bit tired, could really use a little bit of a break, the All-Star break. But Milwaukee, and they have an upcoming series against the Cubs, which, Cubs currently at the time are 32-48. Not a great team this year, but they are, playing a little bit better, I guess, 6-4. But it's crazy. If you look at the NL Central, the Brewers 7-3 in their last 10, Cards 4-6, Pirates 3-7, Reds 4-6, and the Cubs are 6-4. So only a couple of teams playing decent baseball in their last 10 in the Central. And I agree with you. I got the Brewers as well. As number 5, I did debate the Padres. It's the first time in many weeks that the Padres had been out of the top 5 for me, but it's been a rough week for them. 3-7 in their last 10. Just the pitching for me has kind of always been what I've seen is there. Musgrove, he was out a couple of games with COVID, and Manaea, he just got smoked over the weekend, and pitching just wasn't quite there. The bats and a couple of key players, players that we have praised. We're going to talk about potentially maybe they're maybe on our best, or our weekly MVPs, or maybe they're our worst players of the week. You're going to have to stay tuned. We're going to get into that in a minute. So I know, obviously, I just said the Padres as an honorable mention, and I know you had a couple as well.
Yep, Atlanta, Minnesota, San Diego.
Yep, and I threw Boston on there. Boston again, 6-4, 2-game win streak, 45-35. It's tough because they're against, they're not really keeping up or gaining ground on the Yankees, but wild card, they're 2 games ahead. As the if it ended right now, the Red Sox and the Jays would both get into the wild card. So. So that's what I went with, and obviously I agree with the other ones. So that's what we have for the power rankings. I'd love it if you let us know in whether it be the comments or whatever, or again on VegasOdds Baseball Twitter, if you agree with us, you disagree, or who you would have where. I'm sure you're gonna agree with me over Logan, but maybe you'll agree with him more. I don't know. He's got that biased Jays fan. So either way, that's our power rankings.